Hello everybody, this is Gareth Cahoon Speaks back here with another video. I'd like you to hit the subscribe bar, give me a thumbs up if you like the video, or hit the notification bell to be notified when I post my next post. Or otherwise you could look me up at my website at www.garethcahoon.co.uk. Or if you'd like to support the ministry you can do so through garethcahoon3@gmail.com on PayPal. This one's about US Department of Education reveals extent of Qatari and Saudi funding in higher education. Foreign funding from Qatar and China to US universities also raises questions about public influence. Colleges and universities in the United States have received over 1.1 billion in funding from Qatar and more than 285 million from Saudi Arabia according to data for 2025 released by the US Department of Education. In total, US colleges and universities received 5.2 billion in foreign gifts and contracts in 2025. The Department of Education revealed on Wednesday, citing data on its new online portal, which went live in early 2025 and was designed to increase transparency regarding foreign funding of US higher education. The Department of Education documented over 8,300 transactions on the portal, with Qatar topping the list of foreign funding by countries in 2025 with over 1.1 billion, followed by the United Kingdom at 633 million and China at 528 million. Switzerland 451 million and Japan 374 million were the next largest donors. China and Qatar have in recent years drawn scrutiny over claims that they use funding and donations to higher education institutions to influence public perceptions of their countries. Overall, about 67.6 billion in foreign funding to US colleges and universities has been reported since disclosure became legally required in 1986, though much of that funding has been disclosed only since 2019. When examining the data, Qatar leads the list of the nations having donated 7.7 billion, followed by China with 6.4 billion, Germany with 4.7 billion, England with 4.3 billion, and Saudi Arabia with 4.2 billion. Linda McMahon, the US Secretary of Education, said in a statement that thanks to the Trump administration new accountability portal, the American people have unprecedented visibility into foreign dollars flowing into our colleges and universities, including funding from countries and entities that are involved in activities that threaten America's national security. This marks a new era of transparency for the American people and streamlined compliance for colleges and universities, making it easier than ever for institutions to meet their legal obligations. McMahon said the transparency is essential not only to preserving the integrity of academic research but also to ensure the security and resilience of our nation. Cornell University, which saw several anti-Israel protests during the 2-year Gaza war, received the largest amount, 2.3 billion of Qatar funding, followed by Carnegie Mellon University with 2 billion. The largest amount of funding by Qatar has raised concern among Israel supporters, as many of the schools that received the funding also hosted anti-Israel demonstrations over the past 2 years. The Trump administration even initiated lawsuits against several of the schools or cancelled federal funding. In the press statement, the Department of Education said Harvard University has received more funding from enemies and countries of concern since 1986 than any other institution. Both Harvard University and the University of California, Berkeley are the subject of ongoing federal probes launched after President Trump began his second term over alleged failures to disclose foreign donations. Sector 117 of the Higher Education Act, which added in 1986, requires universities that receive federal funding to disclose any funding by foreign by a foreign entity, whether gifts or contracts totaling more than 250,000 per year. The government has previously alleged that universities have not disclosed the full extent of the foreign funding, which is supported by research showing that over the past decade, about 100 US colleges and universities failed to disclose approximately 13 billion in undocumented contributions from foreign governments. This is just a tragedy for the United States because their children are being indoctrinated into Marxist and Leninist and Stalinistic traits, socialism and the like. And what comes along with any of those groups is always at the end of the line comes anti-Semitism. These countries should not be able to pour millions of dollars into the United States, especially not to indoctrinate our children and turn them into socialist dictators like Zoran Mandani and his ilk. So America stopped letting these foreign regimes pour millions, billions into your institutions when they're only indoctrinating your children to hate their own country and to love the left-leaning countries and the countries that align themselves with Islam. Shalom, Maranatha, and Hallelujah.